None of me. Did you think my kiss was a promise of what you'll have? No, my pompous one.
Anne Baxter, the glamorous star of All About Eve, wasn't just a Hollywood beauty. She was a rule breaker. Her bold choices stunned audiences, shocked critics, and changed the course of her career forever. Want to know the real story behind the controversy? Let's dive into the untold truth of Anne Baxter and prepare to be surprised. Anne Baxter, a remarkable journey through Hollywood. Anne Baxter became one of Hollywood's brightest stars, a woman whose talent stunned audiences and whose presence left a permanent imprint on both cinema and theater. Though many admired her for her award-winning performances, some also recognized her unique heritage as the granddaughter of world-famous architect Frank Lloyd Wright. Her life was shaped by a mixture of passion, persistence, heartbreak, and resilience that fueled a career spanning nearly 50 years. Anne was born on May 7, 1923, in Michigan City, Indiana. Her upbringing was infused with creativity. Her mother, Catherine Dorothy Baxter, was the daughter of an architectural genius, and her father, Kenneth Stewart Baxter, worked as an executive for the Seagram Company. From the beginning, she was surrounded by ambition and art. Her first experience on stage came at the young age of 5 in a school play, and it sparked a curiosity that would soon grow into a lifelong devotion. When her family moved to New York at age 6, that environment only pushed her passion further. She attended the prestigious Brearley School, where her confidence and skill began to sharpen. A moment that changed everything came when she was 10 years old. Sitting in a Broadway audience, she watched the legendary Helen Hayes perform. Young Anne was deeply moved. She saw magic happening on stage and decided then that she wanted to be part of that world. By 13, she achieved what most children only dream of. She appeared on Broadway in a production titled Seen But Not Heard. That early success made it clear that Anne was not simply chasing a fantasy. She trained with renowned actress and coach Maria Ouspenskaya, endlessly working on her technique and stage presence. But every rising star faces obstacles. Anne was originally cast as Katharine Hepburn's younger sister in The Philadelphia Story. Before the show reached Broadway, Hepburn rejected her performance and Anne was removed from the cast. For a teenage girl with big dreams, this could have been devastating. But instead of giving up, she set her sights even higher, toward Hollywood. At 16, Baxter auditioned for Alfred Hitchcock's Rebecca, hoping to win the role of Mrs. De Winter. Hitchcock admired her talent, but ultimately felt she was too young for the part. However, her audition sparked interest across multiple studios. Both MGM and 20th Century Fox wanted her. Baxter chose Fox, attracted by the stronger contract and higher pay. Her screen debut came in 1940 when Fox loaned her to MGM for 20 Mule Team, a film starring Wallace Beery. More films came quickly. She appeared with John Barrymore in The Great Profile, and her comedic charm lit up the screen in Charlie's Aunt, alongside Jack Benny. Audiences noticed her, and studios saw that she could deliver in any role handed to her. Soon, she earned lead billing in Swamp Water and The Pied Piper, the latter receiving an Academy Award nomination for Best Picture. Fox knew they had someone special, but other studios wanted her too. RKO borrowed her for Orson Welles' The Magnificent Ambersons, a now classic film admired for its artistic brilliance. She continued to shine when she starred in the Technicolor adventure Crash Dive with Tyrone Power, marking her first film in vibrant color. During World War II, Anne Baxter became one of Hollywood's most admired leading ladies. She starred in impactful wartime dramas like The North Star, The Sullivans, and The Eve of St. Mark. In Sunday Dinner for a Soldier, she acted alongside John Hodiak, who later became her husband. Her movies resonated deeply with audiences, especially soldiers and families searching for hope during dark times. Baxter later joked that she once received as much fan mail as Betty Grable, the era's most famous pin-up star. Her talent was not limited to one style of film. She moved effortlessly from thrillers to comedy to romance. She explored darker emotions in the psychological drama Guest in the House, then brought personality to films like A Royal Scandal, Smokey, and Angel on My Shoulder. Baxter had become a trusted name, someone producers and viewers alike believed in. Still, her defining achievement came with the 1946 film The Razor's Edge. Acting alongside Gene Tierney and Tyrone Power, Baxter played Sophie, a woman destroyed by loss and spiraling into despair. Her emotional depth stunned critics and audiences. The heartbreaking scenes, especially those set in a hospital, were fueled by her own personal grief over the death of her 3-year-old brother years earlier. The performance won her the Academy Award and Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress. It was a career-changing victory. With fame now fully wrapped around her, Baxter continued to land high-profile roles. She starred with William Holden in Blaze of Noon, joined Clark Gable in Homecoming, and brought fire and humor to characters in The Walls of Jericho, The Luck of the Irish, and Yellow Sky. She even embraced Western comedy in A Ticket to Tomahawk and transformed into a 1920s flapper in You're My Everything. She could do everything, and she proved it. Then, in 1950, Baxter took on a role that would immortalize her, Eve Harrington, in All About Eve. Originally, Claudette Colbert had been cast, but an injury forced her out. Bette Davis stepped into the lead role, and Baxter was brought in because she carried a resemblance to Colbert, fitting the storyline perfectly. Her performance as the ambitious, manipulative understudy, Eve, was chilling and unforgettable. She later admitted that she modeled the character after a real actress, who once tried to sabotage her own Broadway debut. Baxter's portrayal earned her another Academy Award nomination, this time for Best Actress. Follow the Sun, a biographical drama about golfer Ben Hogan, soon followed, where Baxter played Hogan's wife. She then took on roles in The Outcasts of Poker Flat and the comedy My Wife's Best Friend. Her final project under contract with Fox was O. Henry's Full House, an anthology film showcasing several stories. All this success made her one of the most respected actresses in the industry, but it also hinted that her career was heading toward a new chapter, one filled with unexpected turns. Anne Baxter's journey up to this point was fueled by passion and persistence. She had already overcome rejection, reshaped her destiny, and climbed into Hollywood royalty. But just like the dramatic characters she portrayed, her life would soon take twists that no one, not even a seasoned actress, could have predicted. Rise to prominence. Anne Baxter's career journey continued with a momentum that many aspiring actors could only dream of. From the early 1950s onward, she built a reputation that stretched across continents and various cinematic styles. Her ability to adapt and shine in any role made her one of Hollywood's most respected actresses. Yet behind her success was a woman constantly challenged to prove that her talent was not a coincidence, but a force. In 1953, Anne Baxter signed a deal with Warner Brothers to appear in 2 films that would show different sides of her acting ability. The first was Alfred Hitchcock's tense psychological drama, I Confess, starring alongside the gifted Montgomery Clift. The collaboration with Hitchcock was a milestone moment, placing her under the direction of a filmmaker known for precision and intensity. She then shifted into a different world with The Blue Gardenia, directed by Fritz Lang, where she portrayed a woman wrongly entangled in a murder case. Audiences admired the vulnerability and fear she brought to the role. Seeking new experiences, Baxter traveled overseas the following year for Carnival Story, a drama filmed in Germany. Her willingness to explore new film environments proved her determination to remain versatile. Shortly after, she headed to France, taking on the lead role in Bedeville, a crime drama released in 1955 by MGM. Once again, she proved that foreign settings could not limit her ability to own the screen. That same year marked another shift in genre. Anne worked on 2 westerns under Universal International. In One Desire, she shared powerful chemistry with Rock Hudson and actress Julie Adams. Her role proved she could stand strong in rugged storylines previously dominated by tough male leads. Then came The Spoilers, featuring Jeff Chandler and Rory Calhoun, pushing Baxter further into roles that demanded grit and emotional strength. Next, she explored film noir again in The Come On, directed by her then-boyfriend and publicist Russell Birdwell. Starring opposite Sterling Hayden, Baxter delivered a chilly and calculated performance, showing the darker edges of her skill. Every film she touched seemed to reveal a different color in her palette. But the turning point that carved her name permanently into cinematic history arrived in 1956 with Cecil B. DeMille's biblical epic, The Ten Commandments. In the role of Nefertari, the ambitious and passionate queen of Egypt, Baxter commanded attention every time she appeared on screen. The movie starred Charlton Heston as Moses and Yul Brynner as Ramesses, two powerful figures whose rivalry drove the story. Yet Baxter ensured that Nefertari's presence remained unforgettable. Production began in 1955 at Paramount's massive sound stages. Every aspect of filming was extravagant: towering sets, golden costumes, and an atmosphere that felt historic even before audiences saw it. When the film premiered in late 1956 in New York and Los Angeles, critics expressed mixed reactions to Baxter's intense delivery. Some believed her portrayal was too grand, too theatrical. But others, including DeMille himself, insisted that her larger-than-life performance was exactly what the character demanded. The Hollywood Reporter called her fierce and captivating, while the New York Daily News admired her effectiveness in bringing royal ambition to life. Her efforts were rewarded when she received a Laurel Award for her performance. Baxter once mentioned that acting in The Ten Commandments felt like stepping into the shoes of silent-era goddesses, dramatic, striking, and impossible to ignore. Following the success of this monumental film, Baxter reunited with Charlton Heston in Three Violent People, a Western that allowed her to blend romance and resilience into a single character. In 1958, she embraced suspense again with the British mystery Chase a Crooked Shadow, sharing the screen with Richard Todd and Herbert Lom. Her achievements were further acknowledged in 1960 when she earned a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame at 6741 Hollywood Boulevard. The honor represented decades of dedication and the respect she gained within the industry. That same year, she portrayed Dixie Lee in Cimarron, an adaptation of Edna Ferber's novel. Even with such achievements, she continued to challenge herself. As the 1960s unfolded, Baxter transitioned into television, proving she was not an actress tied to a single medium. She appeared as a mystery guest on What's My Line, giving viewers a playful taste of her personality. Then came a role that would make younger audiences remember her forever: Batman. In 2 early episodes, she starred as the magician criminal Zelda the Great, later returning as Olga, Queen of the Cossacks, partnering with Vincent Price's Egghead in the show's 3rd season. The campy and colorful atmosphere of Batman was far from her dramatic Hollywood roots, but Baxter embraced it with enthusiasm. Her television journey didn't stop there. She made a memorable appearance on Ironside, playing a former love interest of Raymond Burr's character. On My Three Sons in 1967, she portrayed a glamorous engineer determined to win Steve Douglas's heart, another role that blended charm and comedy with ease. Then came a triumphant return to the theatrical stage. In the 1970s, Baxter stepped into the iconic shoes of Margot Channing for the Broadway musical Applause, a stage version of All About Eve. Taking over the part from Lauren Bacall, the actress she once co-starred with in the film's spiritual predecessor, was an emotional full-circle moment. The character that once challenged her on screen had now become part of her stage legacy, and the audience welcomed her with admiration. During the same decade, Baxter frequently appeared on The Mike Douglas Show, sometimes as a guest, other times taking the seat as a guest host. She also took on darker, more suspenseful parts. One of her standout performances came in Columbo, where she played a fading movie star in the episode titled Requiem for a Falling Star. Her interpretation of a woman trying to hold on to fame and love struck close to the reality of aging Hollywood stars. In 1971, she again showed her willingness to tackle gritty characters when she appeared in Fool's Parade, portraying a weary prostitute in a harsh post-prison world. These roles demonstrated her refusal to be limited by glamour or typecasting. She was fearless in exploring flawed, broken, or morally gray women. Her career continued into the 1980s, with one of her final major roles in the television series Hotel. In an unexpected twist of fate, Baxter replaced Bette Davis, the same co-star from All About Eve, who once symbolized Hollywood power and dominance. Now, Baxter stepped into Davis's shoes, carrying the series forward with grace until production concluded. Decades in front of the camera proved one thing: Anne Baxter was adaptable, creative, and persistent. She had lived through Hollywood's golden age, survived its changing tides, and continued to evolve with every era of entertainment. But behind the bright lights and applauding audiences, her life would soon take a dramatic turn, and not the one the audience expected. The criticisms and controversies of Anne Baxter.
After your Broadway debut at the age of 13, you studied with Maria Ouspenskaya.
With Ouspenskaya, she came backstage and asked me if I would like to join.
Anne Baxter was overjoyed in June 1954 when she secured the role of Nefertari in The Ten Commandments, one of Hollywood's grandest productions. Landing this part was not easy, as many top actresses competed for the coveted role. For Baxter, it was a milestone that promised both fame and recognition. The massive production took place inside Paramount Studios, filled with elaborate sets and detailed costumes. When the premieres were held in New York and Los Angeles in late 1956, reactions poured in from audiences and critics worldwide. Some praised her portrayal, appreciating the drama and elegance she brought to the Egyptian queen. Others, however, felt she was overly theatrical. Yet, regardless of mixed opinions, this role secured Baxter's name permanently in cinematic history. A fascinating coincidence tied Baxter to the earliest version of The Ten Commandments, made in 1923, the very year she was born. Little did anyone know that decades later, she would star in the legendary remake. Her performance left an unforgettable imprint, making Nefertari one of the most iconic characters of her career. Costume design played a major role in capturing the essence of ancient Egypt. Luxurious fabrics, bold jewelry, and glamorous hairstyles helped build Nefertari's powerful image. Her wardrobe, however, caused unexpected controversy. Some outfits were considered too daring for the conservative audience of the 1950s. Historical inaccuracies were also noticed. For example, one dress used turquoise coloring, which did not exist in biblical times. Several costumes were crafted from sheer fabrics that sometimes revealed her undergarments. Some viewers even argued that more was visible than filmmakers intended. This sparked debate, especially since the film carried strong religious themes. Despite the wardrobe complications, Baxter continued performing gracefully and professionally. In her 1976 autobiography, Intermission: A True Story, Baxter openly discussed the costume struggles. She explained that to prevent accidental exposure, she wore a skin-colored bra and G-string under many of her costumes. Though these undergarments helped maintain modesty, many audiences believed the designs were intentionally sensual to enhance her character's appeal. Hollywood during that era constantly wrestled between artistic expression and censorship, and Baxter found herself in the middle of that struggle. Anne Baxter even questioned whether she was physically right for the role. With Irish features, she considered requesting a prosthetic nose to appear more Egyptian. But director Cecil B. DeMille insisted she stay natural. She later embraced the character with great passion and valued the bond she formed with the role. Ironically, a few years earlier, she had been rejected from playing Bathsheba in David and Bathsheba because a director thought she could never look like a biblical queen. Nefertari proved that assumption wrong. The film went on to become the highest-grossing biblical movie ever made. Another struggle came during her casting for The Razor's Edge. Initially, Daryl Zanuck declared she looked too cold for the role of the tragic character Sophie, yet Baxter refused to give up. She fought for the part and eventually delivered a performance so emotional that it won her both an Academy Award and a Golden Globe. It became one of the defining triumphs of her acting life. Still, controversies often overshadowed her talent. Many remembered her more for the revealing costumes of the Ten Commandments than her acting skills. While she considered acting the truest expression of who she was, not everyone saw beyond the glamour. Baxter's dramatic style also faced criticism. As Hollywood started shifting toward more natural acting methods, some critics thought her bold expressions were outdated. Others argued her approach was elegant, theatrical, and deeply artistic. Her famous family background added additional pressure. Being the granddaughter of Frank Lloyd Wright meant that many assumed she had advantages others did not. Some believed her lineage helped her secure opportunities. However, those close to her knew how fiercely she worked and how much dedication she put into every performance. The Baxter name may have opened doors, but her talent kept them open. As Hollywood evolved, Baxter made a bold decision. While many film stars were scared to move to television, she embraced it fully. Appearing in popular shows like Batman, Ironside, and later Hotel, she proved her versatility. But critics again attacked her choices, believing such roles were beneath a former Academy Award winner. Her portrayal of Zelda the Great in Batman shocked some film purists, but others praised her playful and fearless attitude. Beyond wardrobe controversies and career decisions, another major storm surrounded her role in All About Eve. Baxter played Eve Harrington, a manipulative young actress aiming to replace the veteran star Margot Channing, portrayed by Bette Davis. The on-screen rivalry became so intense and believable that rumors began circulating about hostility behind the scenes. During awards season, studio executives fueled the drama further. They pushed Baxter to accept a supporting actress nomination, so Davis could take the Best Actress title. Baxter refused. She believed she earned the right to compete in the leading category. That decision split the votes, and in the end, neither actress won. Judy Holliday took home the Oscar, leaving the studio regretting its strategy. Though the media loved the narrative of a feud, Baxter later clarified that she and Davis respected each other's craft. The rumors, she said, were more of a publicity tactic than reality. Still, the public remained fascinated, keeping the All About Eve rivalry alive for decades. Throughout her life, Baxter faced constant judgment from casting directors, critics, audiences, and studio executives. But she continued to redefine herself. In theater, film, and television, she adapted, evolved, and refused to let others dictate her path. Her career was not shaped by fear, but by bold choices. Sometimes those choices caused controversy, but they also built a legacy uniquely her own. Anne Baxter's journey in Hollywood was a balance of admiration and criticism. She achieved remarkable success, yet dealt with constant scrutiny. People questioned her appearance, her acting style, her heritage, and her career moves. But through all of that, she proved her worth again and again. She was not simply an actress following a script. She was a woman carving her own story. Today, audiences still remember her powerful roles, her determination, and her bold spirit. Even through controversy, Baxter left the kind of mark that lasts long after the screen fades to black. Her name remains etched in cinema history because she dared to stand out and face every challenge with confidence and heart. Family, love, loss, and second chances. Anne Baxter's personal life was just as dramatic as the characters she played on screen, filled with deep love, painful heartbreaks, and twists she never saw coming. Her first marriage began with warmth and promise. On July 7, 1946, she married actor John Hodiak, in an intimate ceremony at her parents' home in Burlingame, California. For a while, they looked like a perfect Hollywood couple. Fame, careers, and dreams. They had it all. Their daughter, Katrina, born in 1951, brought them joy and gave Baxter a new purpose beyond film sets and stardom. But behind the scenes, the emotional connection that once held them together slowly faded. Baxter later admitted that silence began to replace conversation. Days passed without laughter. They lived under the same roof, yet felt miles apart. She longed for change, for emotion, for something to break the cold distance between them. Eventually, she gathered the courage to confront the truth she had been avoiding. The confrontation led to the inevitable. In 1953, the marriage ended in divorce. Though she publicly blamed differences, she later confessed regret, remembering how love slipped away without warning. Not long after, Baxter's life entered a new chapter. She found companionship with Hollywood publicist Russell Birdwell. Together, they built more than a romantic relationship. They built a business partnership. Birdwell directed Baxter in the film The Come On in 1956, and soon afterward, they launched Baxter Birdwell Productions. They planned to create films where she would shine as a star and he would shape her public image. Baxter wrote him countless letters through the years, now preserved at Princeton University Library, a testament to the significance he once held in her life. Then came a surprising twist in 1960, a love story that swept her far from Hollywood glamour. While filming in Australia, she met American cattle rancher Randolph Galt, a man whose life was the complete opposite of hers. Movie sets and flashing cameras were replaced by the rugged beauty of wide-open land. They married and welcomed a daughter named Melissa. But Baxter's world shifted drastically when Galt suddenly announced a move to an enormous 11,000-acre ranch in New Mexico. There was no discussion, only expectation. Baxter, determined to make her marriage work, followed him. Life in isolation tested her strength. The Hollywood star found herself learning how to adapt to quiet landscapes, ranch life, and a new identity far from the stage lights. From New Mexico, they moved again, this time to Hawaii, a place Baxter later called beautiful but still unfamiliar. Throughout these years, change never stopped. In 1969, after nearly a decade of adjustment and sacrifices, the marriage ended. She returned to California with her daughters, searching for stability and purpose. Her children chose very different paths. Melissa eventually became an interior designer, later transforming into a business coach and motivational speaker. Her younger daughter, with Galt, Maginelle, explored a spiritual journey, joining a cloistered Catholic convent. She spent more than 10 years in Rome and another 20 years devoted to monastic life before eventually returning to the outside world. Love, however, still had one chapter left for Baxter. In 1977, she married stockbroker David Klee. He was a man she loved deeply, someone who brought peace into her life after years of transitions. For the first time in a long time, she felt settled, truly settled. The couple purchased a grand estate in Easton, Connecticut, filled with plans for a future together. They began renovations, turning the house into what they hoped would become their dream home. But their happiness was heartbreakingly brief. Klee passed away suddenly from illness, leaving Baxter widowed with an unfinished home and a future rewritten overnight. Although she still kept a residence in West Hollywood for work, she considered the Connecticut estate her sanctuary, a place filled with memories of a love that ended far too soon. Just when her life seemed to find new direction, tragedy struck again. In 1985, while standing on Madison Avenue in New York City, Baxter collapsed after suffering a stroke. She was rushed to the hospital and placed on life support, but after 8 days without regaining consciousness, the world lost a brilliant star. She was 62 years old. Her death shocked fans and sparked questions about her health. Had there been warning signs? Did she ignore them? No clear answers came. As Hollywood mourned, her legacy was revisited, her films rewatched, and her impact celebrated all over again. Anne Baxter's personal life was more than dates and marriages. It was a testament to resilience. Deep heartbreak could have broken her, but she always stood up again. She loved boldly, took risks, and never shied away from change. Her journey through love and loss shaped the woman behind the screen, a woman who lived fully, fiercely, and on her own terms. Through triumph, disappointment, joy, and grief, she embraced every chapter of her life. She was not simply a Hollywood actress. She was a mother, a wife, a dreamer, and above all, a survivor.